So hi, welcome back to the second video. So here I'm going to be discussing joins in SQL. So there are actually two types of joins. We have what we call as the inner join and the outer join. So you may be wondering what is actually the main difference between the two. So inner join, when you think about it, is if you wanna combine records from one table with records from another table. That will produce results. So for example, is I want to combine fruits with student donations. So if I want to do that, you see here you have an apple, banana, mango, tomato. If you join it with student donations, it produces one merge table in which you can see lahat ng fruit code, description, quantity, student name, fruit code, and quantity are in one table. So that is what joins do. It's simply derived from the word itself, join. Pinagsama siya. So actually, in joins is if you only join related data together. Okay, so you only join related data. Please take note of the emphasis on related data. Kasi that is the main difference between the inner join of the left and the left join. So sa left join kasi, or what you call as outer join, so lahat ng records mo from your first table is kino-combine mo with your records of your second table. So, example, if you have fruits and your student donations, lahat, kahit di sila related, pinagko-combine mo siya dun sa student donations. So, for example here, you have here here, example, wala kang tomato dito, diba? Sa student donations mo. So, sa join, since wala kang tomato dito sa student donations mo, hindi ka sinama dito sa kabila. Pero in the left join, because lahat nga na nasa unang mong table is isasama mo siya dun sa merge table. So, even though there's no tomatoes in the student donations, nasasama pa rin siya sa merge table, which is tomato. You can see over here, kahit na hindi siya kasama sa student donations. So that is actually the main difference between an inner and a left join. Inner join, it only joins related data together. Left join joins all your records from your first table to your records of another table. So sa first table, yun nasa left table, lahat ng records mo sa left table, i-join mo sa right table. So, that is why it's called left join. So, okay. Actually, let us dive into an example so we can understand the concept better of joins. So, let me head over to my SQL workbench. So, here, actually, this is our HRDB. We are using an HRDB schema. So the question states that to generate a report showing for each country the number of sales departments, department ID and name in that country. Arrange the report by country. So from here, actually, let us take a look at the schema first. So we go to the employees. So here you can see that HRDB, sorry, my bad. You can see that HRDB has what you call as the country ID. So you can see here because you're grouping it by countries. So you have what you call as countries here, and you have the departments here, and then there's a department ID, department name. So from this, I will give you guys a few minutes to just really understand the schema before we proceed to doing the SQL statement. And please to take a screenshot if you don't have a copy of the model or if you can't remember the model when we're discussing it later. So yeah, please pause the video. So I assume you guys have paused the video. So I will be proceeding to the SQL workbench in this case. So the SQL workbench, let us go there. So let us just copy paste our analysis questions from here. Let's delete this. So from this one, to generate a report showing from each country the number of sales departments for each country. So what we have here is, so from the schema kanina, we saw that actually to get the countries, you need the table countries, right? So we can just say countries here. But if you see here, countries is not directly connected to departments, which we need to know the sales departments in the first place, right? So this is where we connect or we use joins, because we see here that countries is related to locations via a foreign key, which is a country ID, which is here. And locations is connected or related to departments by the location ID over here. So from that, we can actually infer that tatlo pala yung kailangan natin na tables kasi sila yung magka-connected. So we have locations over here, and we have, department. So, okay, from the next part is what conditions are we getting on the data? So here we are told that we need the sales department. So if we actually look at your HRDB, let's click HRDB here, let's go to tables and we see department. So we can see, say select. So you want to do this first so that you know what is the values of your fields, so that you know what to actually query or place on your condition. So select from departments. So if I do that, you can see here, so yung kailangan natin is sales. So you can see here, sales lang siya. Sales. May retail sales. So we need a condition that is able to look for the substring, for a string that contains sales in its phrase. So from this, we can infer that the conditions of the data that we are getting is that kailangan natin ng d.department name. So D is just an annotation for departments. So D for departments. So D department. So let's make that capital. Actually, D naman need. So actually, let's just make it lowercase kasi hindi naman need na capital siya. So there, because department name is because you're not really equating, but you're looking for that substring. The notation that you use is like, and then you insert the substring that you want to search for with a percentage symbol. 2 percentage symbol and lalagay mo yung substring inside. So that is how you make your condition. Are all records of something needed? So a tip that I would give you to identify if it's an inner or a left join is if may word siya na all. Usually, if may word siya na all, that is your indication na, baka magle-left join ako dito kasi I need all records of something. But here, you can see na I just need the sales department. I don't need all departments. So I'm gonna use an inner join. So this question is no. Okay? Is there an aggregate? So I'm also introducing you to the concept of aggregates. So aggregates is, if you do remember, when you do an Excel command, you do sometimes a sum or a count, right? So that's what you mean by aggregates. So you aggregate kasi you aggregate the sum of a column. So you aggregate all the values of a column into one sum. So pinagsama mo siya into one sum. So that's what you call an aggregate. When you do a count, so you count all your values and then you aggregate it into one count. That's what you mean by aggregates. So I hope you understand the concept of aggregates because we will be using it in this example. Because sinabi dito na the number of sales departments. So we're actually looking for the count of the sales departments existing in each country. So there is actually an aggregate and it is aggregated on your. So here you might actually think na department name siya. But always remember when you're doing aggregates, it should be aggregated on your unique identifier, your primary identifier. But in this case, our unique identifier is actually department ID. So here, hindi natin siya i-count based sa department name, but we're actually counting it based on its primary key, which is department ID. Okay? And actually, so what should the data be best sorted on? So here, you can say na arrange your report by country. So pwede natin sabihin dito na, okay, I can arrange the country. So by country siya. So you can say C dot country name. Okay? So from here kasi, you can see country name. You can simply that. So, okay, let's try formulating our select statements right now. So let me just remove this so it's not that confusing. Sorry for that. Okay. So here, so we have our from statement first. So how do you actually write that? Since you're deriving it from multiple tables and i-join mo lang yung related data, how do you actually formulate a join statement in the first place? So here, I want you to, yung iniisip mo dapat is, ano ba yung table na kailangan ko lahat yung data? Or kailangan ko yung, ano ba yung unang table na gusto ko i-join? So from this one, you want to join countries first. And you want to join it to locations. Actually, the order doesn't really matter. The order matters when you do left join, but when you do inner join, it doesn't really matter. So, actually, countries join, and then locations. So, since you're joining, so we know that countries is related to locations, right? So, we join countries with locations because they are related. But saan ba sila related? At to what specific field are they related? So that is where the significance of the foreign keys is important. Because for example, here, ano ba yung two fields na meron si countries and si locations? Diba si country ID? So what you can do is, so although the order doesn't really matter, once again, yung standard way of writing it is sino yung sino yung primary identifier. So example, country ID is not a foreign key in countries. Siya yung uunahin sulatin. So for example, here, si country ID equals L.country ID. Because in locations, country ID is a foreign key. Kaya siya pangalawa sinusulat. So that's just a standard way of writing it, but if binabaliktad mo din siya, that would still work. So next is if I want to join it to another table, because I want to join locations to departments, right? So if I want to join locations to departments, I can say here departments B on D dot. Is it D dot? Let us check. Okay, location ID. So location ID yung ano. So L dot location ID is equal to D dot location ID. Okay, so from this one, we're done with our join statements. We can just simply paste our condition that we need here. And then next is you have your order by and your select, right? But okay, let's actually do order by first. So we have, as said earlier, we do it by country. So okay, let's do our select statements. So you wanna show the number of sales departments. So you wanna show the country first so that alam nila kung ano yung country, diba? But when you say number, diba, you're actually looking for the count of sales departments. So that's where you actually use your aggregate. You use your aggregate in your select statement. So you want to display the count, so you simply just do this. The count, no space, because it will error if you do have space here. Department ID is, so let's just make an alias, so to have better column name, departments, right? And but this is not enough. Although we stated the aggregate for us to display the aggregate in the select, to display the count in the select, we actually have another clause. So this is where I introduce the group by statement. So the group by statement is where you're actually aggregating from. So for example, sa Excel, diba? Kailangan mo i-select yung column kung saan mo gusto i-sum. So you have to select a range of values in which you're executing your sum. The group by is the same. You're selecting a column in which you're actually aggregating from. You're actually counting. We have to select a range of values you are counting in the first place. The group by here is actually in your, as I said earlier, dapat siya sa primary identifier ng table mo. So that is that department ID. So, sorry. No. Sorry. Please forget what I said. So, your group by kasi is, you have to select the values, diba? So, your group by is you're simply grouping by, saan mo ginugroup by yung count mo? What are you counting in the first place? You're counting the number of sales department per country. Yung per, so you try to phrase the statement like that when you're dealing with the aggregates. The sentence after per, so diba, your number of sales departments per country, the sum of sales per country. So yung country is yung i-group by. So the statement after your per is usually the one that is placed in your group by. So you see here C.country ID. Although your primary identifier still applies here. So if I try to run that, try to see my log over here. Baka nagmali siya. Second. C.country ID. Like this. Sorry. So here kasi, sales should be enclosed in A quote unquote. So let's try that one again. Oh no, sorry. GID. Oh, sorry, may typo lang here. Oh, sorry. There should be underscore, not dot. Try that again. So you can see here, it groups by country. So the count is displayed per country because you want to show the number of sales departments per country. Kaya yung group by mo is per country. Group by country, basically. So the way I understand SQL statements is really trying to convert it into more understandable English grammar than just question itself so that it's easier to digest. So actually, let's go to the employees over here. So the general manager of the company is investigating something about departments. With this, he requested that a report showing for all departments how many managers that are not anymore managers of the department were appointed started from 1986. So from what tables are we actually getting the data? So we have two things that we're taking into account. We have the departments and the department managers. So here we can say that I am getting my data from the table departments and the department manager. The name of the table is already the So from this one, so we're good with that. So are there conditions on the data we are getting? So there are actually multiple conditions we must consider. So with this, you requested that the report is prepared for all departments. How many managers that are not anymore managers of the department were appointed started from 1986? So here it starts that your condition, so that your from date starts from 1986, right? And that your current to date. So in basic SQL notation, pag ongoing pa kasi siya, is not on. This is the notation that we have. So that's 990101. That's the notation pag ongoing pa yung certain type and date, naka-date format siya. So are all records of something needed? So as I said earlier, pag may all, you need to use a left join. And because there's the word all, so that means there is you need all records of something, right? So this is the yes, and you're using a left join. So here, is there an aggregate, and to what is it being aggregated on? So because here, as I said, as similar to the other problem, we're requesting a report, the count of how many managers there are that are no longer managers of the departments but were appointed from 1986. So that is number of managers per department. So may per tayo, diba? So we group it by department. And to what data should the result be sorted off? So because it's not stated here, so we just go by our default is showing for all departments, so we just do it by department name. So when we try to do our select from where cross, so we do with from first. So here, the order in which you specify your joins is important because yung left mo yung lahat ng records sa kukunin mo And then yung right mo is yung records na is simply i-join mo, but not all records of it are actually joined. So from here, we actually know that we need all departments, diba? We don't need all managers, but we need all departments. So from this, you can say that our table here should be departments B left join by your department manager. So you just have left manager DM, same syntax on. So here, you can see here that saan ba siya may common identifier between department. That is number. Sorry, I actually did not let you for the schema. I'm very sorry for that. So that is for the project management, correct? And this is wait a minute, that is from DB employees. So in DB employees, you can see here there's a department manager and there's departments here. So there's department name, department number. So this is a schema. So it's the DB employees, as I demonstrated earlier yung DB employees then. So here we have, so we can see from here na yung department manager and departments have a common identifier, which is dep number. So dep number, yung primary key is in departments and the foreign key is in dep manager. So what we do is d dot dep number is equal to dm dot dep number. Okay, so that should be all right. So actually, in a left join, there is something tricky about it, because in the usual case that I talked earlier, we use the where clause to specify the condition. Pero in a left join kasi, it technically overrules the where clause because of the left join, kasi lahat na ng record. So bakit ba ko magko-condition sa left join? So to state your condition, what you do instead is do it using an and. So if I want to state here a condition, I can simply state and here you can say year. So if I just want to get the year, so I want to just get yung year, diba? If I want to see if it is from 1986, so dm dot from date. So if you see here, dm dot from date, you see a from date and a to date here. The dm dot from date is equal or greater than or equal to 1986. So from 1986 kasi. So starting from 1986, past manager starting from 1986. And let's add another end for our second condition. So your second condition is the to date is not 99990101. Pero technically, we can just follow the same format na hindi siya 9999, diba? So dm dot to date is not equal to 9999, right? So from this one, you can say, okay, so tama na tong condition ko, because although I can state the conditions in the where clause, I can just simply use it using an and clause instead. So from this one, you can do your group by because you have your aggregates. So if there's an aggregate, you always use a group by statement and the order in which you would display your information and your select statement. So your select statement is, for example, so you need here, so from the question, he is requesting for the department number and the department name. So you have the dep number and the dot dep name, right? And you want to aggregate the number of managers per department, right? So what you want to do is you want to count. So if you see here, there's an employee number. So you can count that employee number kasi that's also a primary identifier din. So you count by employee number kasi technically counting the number of employees that are managers and that are managers of the department. So what you can do here is you can simply count M dot M number, right? And that is a number of task managers. Sorry, just make that in characters. Okay, so that's it. That's all you need to display. So the department number, the department name, and the count of managers in all departments. And the group by, so I said earlier, number of manager per department. So kung ano yung after the per statement, dun mo siya i-group pa. So see here that department dep ID, right? Or dep number pala. Wala palang dep ID. Sorry. And you order by, you arrange it by, what did it say to arrange it by? You arrange it by, it doesn't say anything, but because you're displaying the dep number and the dep name, you might as well arrange it using your department name. So if I try to run this, I hope this is correct. No, may mali tayo. Oh, sorry, because nasa HRDB ako, so I should be in DB employees. So let's go to employees. Let's try running this again. There. So you can see that per department, display number of past managers. And you see, even though walang count yung ibang departments, need pa rin natin siya i-display because you need to account for all departments and their count. So regardless if may count or wala, i-display mo siya. That's why you use a left join. So that is the main difference between left joins and your joins, and it's just like an incorporation of how you use aggregates as well. So that's all for me. I hope that this past videos have been informational for you guys, and that's all. Thank you and have a nice day ahead.